Hey beautiful people, today I have the Kondor Blue matte box and we're going to be doing a general unboxing, install, and how-to on our matte box system. As you know, it is very modular. You can build it out how you want, but we also do make it in different kits. So right here in my hand I have the Indie kit. We have base kits, pro kits that kind of get you started on your way, but today the whole point is to show you what to expect when you first get it. So I just unboxed the Indie kit here. You'll see 3 pieces. We have the matte box clamp system, which is 95 millimeter. All the pre-built kits right now come with the 95 millimeter clamp on because it's kind of the most popular, but you can always get the 114 later, or even the 136 that's coming out soon with all the different adapter rings to fit your thing. But it starts off with the 95. And then in this kit, this is the single stage. So if you see this is a single stage that goes right behind that clamp, or right in front of it, and then we have the hood. So these are the 3 main pieces and components of our matte boxes. Of course, to turn this into a pro kit, you literally just swap out the single stage for this dual stage, and now this is your pro kit. So it gives you the ability to put in 2 filters, like you can see here, or well, actually 3 filters, because if you didn't know this already, you can put a filter in the hood. So let's get going by taking out the hood. So we're going to open up here the compact hood box. As you see, everything comes in a nice foam, and you will see the compact hood. And it's called compact hood because there's a pro hood that's going to be releasing very soon, which gives you the ability for side flags and a bunch of additional things like actual hard mats that these smaller, more compact hood will not do for you. So you have this, you see it has the 4-post system, and that's how all of this will grow. So the next thing we want to do is let's get out our dual stage. Actually, the dual stage would come with the pro kit. So here we go. Put that to the side, and this is 2 stages. So if you've ordered the pro kit, this is what you'll have. But if you ordered the Indie kit, you will be receiving the single stage instead. So you can see the difference here. Single stage just means you're holding 1 tray, dual stage you're holding 2. And we can choose how to put this on, and we could stack them all on top of each other, of course. So the last piece we need to open up here is the back clamp. Again, with some nice foam to protect it, and you can see the back clamp comes with a really nice felt to block any reflections, and it just makes it feel real nice and premium. And so these are the 3 components, right? So if I can actually show you how to put this on directly piece by piece. So if you have your lens, normally I might build this together first and then put it on, but this might be an easy way to show it off. You get your back clamp, make sure it's loose already, and then you can go in there and tighten it up. What's nice here is that you have a little line that we include engraved onto our back clamp, and some lenses they included a line as well, just to be able to mark the center alignment. So in this case we have Irix lens, they have a nice little line, so you can line those up, make sure it's level. But if you don't happen to have that, I'll show you another way to level it out. So let's say we're going to just build an Indie kit, which is a single tray. In this case you have the 4-post system here that will align with this 4-post holes, and once that's in, you just drop it down. There's a little teardrop shape, so once it's in, you drop it down. Now it's still loose, you could take it right off, right? So what we need to do is tighten it. These blue knobs on the sides are responsible for tightening the stages to each other and all the elements of the matte box to each other. So you'll see multiple blue posts, and in this case we'll just righty-tighty both of them. And now that's tight, now that can't come off. And now you have the ability to put in a filter right into your matte box. Of course, usually you still want that protection with the hood from all the lens flares and be able to control the lighting coming into your camera lens. So this is where the hood comes in as the final touch. So the same thing, it's got the 4 posts. We will stick them right in here because this also has the receiving holes with the teardrop shape, and it slides right down into it. So that's all in, and in this case there's no blue knobs for this. In this case we have the black knobs inside the hood on the bottom and the top in each corner, and you righty-tighty those, and these are black obviously to prevent any light from bouncing around closer to your lens, so they keep that discreet. And now literally that's it. You have your matte box installed. This is a single stage. It's solid. It's not going anywhere. But as I was mentioning before, you could build it out however you want. So let's say we want the Pro kit. So I'm going to loosen these knobs inside here. Pop that off easily. Actually, before we go to the Pro, let's do something crazy and attach the dual to the single, because you can do that as well. So I'm going to go in here, drop it down into the teardrop, and then you have the blue knobs again. So with these blue knobs, we will righty-tighty, and now we have a triple stage built from a single and a double, and then you can still put that piece right on. This is our compact hood. So now we've just built ourselves a 3-stage matte box, but we can actually hold 4 filters because this whole front part can hold another filter. I'll show you how to put in the filters and all that in a second. One more thing I want to show off is that we've just finished the design of the triple stage. So we just built a triple stage with the 1 and the 2, but you could have the triple stage built from the beginning native, so there's no blocks in the middle. So as you see here, I just took out 3 trays, and you have the full 3-stage opening here. And this is going to be very useful if you're using diopters or any thicker glass that needs that extra space inside. So in this case, we can fit 3 straight in. We'll put 1 in there. We'll put our Firecrest ND right in the middle here. Drop that in, and then our diffusion, the back closest to the lens. That's usually where you want your diffusion to live. And they're locked in. Obviously, you can tighten the safety pieces here, but with our matte box, using our trays, that's not a necessity. But so that's the triple stage. And if you wanted to get really wonky, I mean, you could literally attach this to this and then have 6 trays, being able to hold 7 filters with the hood. So it gets kind of crazy. So easy enough. I hope that made sense. For the basic install, you're literally using those 4-post system to put everything together. And again, the blue knobs on the side are gonna tighten the stages together, and then the black knob on the hood is gonna secure the hood. It's that simple. The difference with the triple stage I have here in my hand is the knob is on the back. So the one thing to consider with the triple stage is if you're ever adding additional stages to this, the triple stage always has to be the furthest back, because that's how it attaches to the back clamp. There's just so much going on with 3 stages that it has to be the furthest back, because as you can see, the knobs are literally on the back of it, and that's what's going to tighten on that clamp. You won't be able to add anything else back there, but you could build out more if you needed. It's not very common where you would need more than 3 stages plus the ability to add the front hood. So the other neat thing before we move on to the details is you might see here engraved swing away. So with our new triple stage, you have the ability to add a swing away option. So all these right now are clamp on, but with this new triple stage, we actually worked together with Tilta to make a design compatible with their nice little swing away bracket. And now it is compatible with the Kondor Blue ecosystem for our matte box. So you can see we've even included the exact holes where you can line up this bracket. It'll slide right in here. It's keyed in, so you can kind of push it in. It holds by itself there, but obviously you'd want to add the screws. So I'm going to go ahead in here and drop in these 2 screws, little M4s. Use the 3mm Allen, and we'll tighten that up. And there you go. You have a swing away system. So pushing this button here allows you to swing the matte box away, and you can also have the ability to tilt the system. So if you have those unwanted glares from having a light fixture directly going into your lens, that, and especially with the stacking of the filters, you'll have a ghosting effect or some sort of reflection inside of there. By adding this and angling it away, you'll be able to move that flare out of the frame and, you know, get rid of it. So that's very nice. All this is possible with the collaboration with our friends at Tilta. So if you do need the swing away option, this is very affordable. We'll have a link on our website to that. And it'll also be compatible with their donuts, because we will have, this is the 95 back clamp as I mentioned, but we have a 114 and the 136. And the 136 will have the compatibility with the tilted donuts that will allow you to put it on all the different lenses and have that nice swing away option. So let's finish out this matte box once again by adding the hood and tightening it from the inside. And now we have a swing away matte box ready to go. Now let's go into a couple of the details that would be good for you to know as you're operating this matte box. I'm gonna grab this guy. I mentioned before you can line it up by the little line that we've engraved right in the center, and some lenses will have that line as well. But a lot of them don't. I don't know why. Lens manufacturers, you guys should do that to all your lenses. But if you don't, you can see here we have a bubble level built in to our matte box right here. So this is very helpful if you are putting this on. Nobody wants a crooked matte box, because actually a crooked matte box could end up meaning your operator is gonna shoot a little bit slanted thinking that the matte box might be straight, and that's happened in the past where you can just frame it wrong. So you really want to get that matte box on straight. Use the bubble level, use the marking here. That's another way to do it. We also have the ability to remove the flag. So with these two knobs on the top, the flag is gone. All the hardware, this is a little bit of weight here, so if you want to go really lightweight, you can totally remove that. Or if you're rocking a LiDAR system, you don't want that flag in your way, you can remove that. You still have the hood here to protect from the unwanted rays hitting your lens and your filters. And you're also keeping your mounting options. So even by removing the flag, you still keep your 3/8 Airy mount here, so you can add a LiDAR directly to this with a mini lock. You can add your any sort of rangefinder that you have, or accessories that you want on there. Some people are adding little BTS Insta360 cameras or whatever, which is cool. A good place to put it, as long as it's out of the way of your trays. So now, speaking of the trays, we have here filter tags that will identify what's in each tray. So a lot of times crews will have Velcro pieces or whatever that they'll attach to the camera, or sorry, to the matte box, and to the hood or to the flags. And that'll tell them exactly what's in there, but they still might not know what stage it is in. They just know it's in the matte box somewhere. You can still use that in combination with this, or you can use this as its own system. We have ND, it'll ship with the ND, diff, Pola, regular general terms, but you can also buy a full filter tag pack that has Rotopola or diff or quarter, and so you can put those in there and know exactly where your stuff is going. So for your team, especially helpful when you're working with a team, everybody knows what's in your matte box. Now for the trays themselves, they have a little squeeze safety mechanism, and they also have the basic safety screws that are on the side that most matte boxes come with. So if you've ever worked with a matte box, you'd be familiar with these guys. But you can unscrew these, and these are still safe in there because they have a little pinching mechanism to keep them safe. So if you squeeze this, pull it out, you can pull one out, you can pull the other one out, obviously, and pull the other one out. And when you push them in, they click in, so they have this little spring mechanism on the sides, if you can see that. So, and you don't have to squeeze them as they go in. We've designed them so you can literally just push them in. It's a very satisfactory little click. The tolerances are perfect, they slide in easy. The other thing to know about this is the catch. So if you've seen any of other videos, you know that we've included these little catches. So each tray has an individual catch. If I were to open these up or pull these trays out a little bit, then I can open up all these safety catches, which now means if you were to drop this in, these trays can literally go all the way down through and out the bottom end. And that's bad sometimes. There's been times on set where I've had somebody put a filter in and there was no catch on that matte box, and it just fell through and smashed and broke the filter, and those filters are expensive. So you have the ability to close these so that you can actually catch them. But the reason why you would want to have it open is because many times you're in a situation where the tripod is up really high, or you're on a jib or on a techno or something up on a ladder, you need to change the filter, and you can go in from the bottom. So right here I have this one open, these two are closed. I can just load the filter in from the bottom. It still has a nice safety squeeze feature, and you can come in from the bottom or the top depending on what you want. So all those little nice things are included in this matte box. Once you put it in there, it's still a decent idea to lock these in on the side, especially if you're running on anything like a car rig or anything that does vibrations. You don't want to have any shake in there, and lock those in nice, and then they can't go anywhere. And the nice thing is all this hardware is captive, so you can't unscrew it all the way and lose it. You don't have to worry about any of this hardware falling off or being lost. And now I'm going to show you the front filter release. Without the top flag, it's easy to get to that. And I'm going to borrow one of these filters from in here. Let's see, what do we have here? We have the Opaline. So you can just lift this tab here if you're not familiar with it, and I just kind of let it fall onto my fingers. All of our filters have this really nice aluminum frame to keep all your fingerprints off and protect the glass in the filter from getting damaged. And I will show you how to put this in to here. So let's put this upright so the logo looks good. You're going to put this on the bottom there, kind of doing this backwards, but lean it on the bottom, and then you just lift up this little filter release and it clicks right in, and it's in place, and now you have your filter secure in there. So to take it off, you're lifting this up. There's the top corner here where we specifically left it open for a finger to go in there and pull it out, and now it's out. So you can see on set how fast it would be and how nice for a crew to quickly go in here. DP calls for a different thing. You go in here, pop it in, and it's in there and you're ready to shoot. So that's a really nice feature. The other good thing about doing it this way is if you want to go really lightweight, or if you're shooting a car rig or a gimbal, you don't want all this weight, but you still want something in there. You want your diffusion, or you want your ND or something like that. Then you can build this into what we call the base kit, which is 0 stages. It's just a back clamp, which I will remove here. So here's all the stages all sandwiched together. I'm just taking the back clamp, 95 clamp, taking this and putting it directly to the hood. So there's no additional stages. We'll tighten that up. And now you have the lightest matte box out there to put on your gimbal, and it can still hold a filter in the front. Technically you could hold 2 filters if you're using the 2mm thin glass. Like Firecrest has some super slims, you could put 2 in there. This is actually 2mm glass, but it's in a 4mm frame, so it's a standard size. But yeah, you got your filters in the front. You can still put your hood on there, or your top flag on there if you wanted to, and tighten that up with these little blue knobs. And now you have an extremely small, compact, lightweight, ready to go run and gun matte box for gimbal or jib or whatever you need. So as you can start to see here, this is very versatile. It's meant to be modular. You build it as you want. Just as you would build a rig before you go out to shoot a production, you build your matte box just how you want it, differently for every production depending on the needs. So I'll throw this guy back on here, line up the lines, and we will tighten that right up. There we go. There's the compact hood on a little compact rig, which is real nice. You can make it even more compact with our base plate, because quick release. Take that right off and you're ready to shoot with your filter in the front. Of course, what I was showing you is all cinema glass. The one thing that I did not show you is how to use it on a photo lens, and that is with some of our filter threads here. So depending on what 24 to 70 or you have, those are usually 82mm threads, or if you have some other photo primes that might be 67 or 77 millimeters, these are thread-on adapters that you can just screw right onto the front of your lens, and then you can attach your 95 clamp onto there. You can see there's ball bearings in there to keep it in, but normally this would stay on your lens. You pop this in, tighten it on. So you can use this with all your stills lenses. I've even put it on my Fuji X100 6 before with the thread-on adapters. And then you also have the different step-ups. So these are the clamp-on adapters. For example, this is for the Cook. This is for, what is this, the 95 to, I don't know, 114 to 100. So all the different popular sizes for lenses just pop right in here, and those usually stay in here. You don't leave those on the lens, because then it becomes part of your matte box, because it's a clamp on. It goes on, clamps on, but the thread on ones usually stay on the lens and you just use the regular back clamp. And the last thing I want to show you here real quick is how the safety braid works, because whenever you're using a clamp-on system, you throw that on there, you tighten it. Whenever it comes to switching lenses like I showed you, you're taking this off and then you're putting a new lens on, but where do you put this matte box when you're taking it off? And so that's where the safety braid comes in clutch. This is our blue. It comes in different colors if you want to identify the different colors, different cameras that you have. One side is a 1/4-20, and so you can attach it to the cage or your camera rig at any spot that has a 1/4-20. And the other side is a nice little clip. And built into our matte box, as you can see here, is a little loop for the safety braid. So if you're part of the pre-orders, you probably got one of these for free, but if not, you can pick them up. They're very affordable, and this allows you to now change your matte box lenses. This just literally hangs there on the side. If you have a tripod or whatever, go in there, change your lens, and then you grab it. It's like an extra pair of hands. You don't have to have somebody that you pass this off to be able to do that. A lot more coming. That's the cool thing about the Kondor Blue matte box and the whole system is there's a lot more coming. I mentioned and teased a little bit about the Pro hood, so for people who want the bigger hard mats and side flags and all the additional things that you can do with a larger hood for some of the larger lenses, that's coming soon, and it'll work similarly where you just literally unscrew this, take this one off, put the other one on. So this is the matte box to grow with you, whether it's your little indie production, your passion project, local commercials, or you know, moving on to some of the bigger budget things, indie films and studio films. This matte box will carry you through all of that with your career. We literally have people right now shooting some of the biggest music videos. We have ASC members using this on their films, and then we have the, you know, your run and gun YouTube content creators and everybody in between. So I hope this was helpful. If you picked one of these up and you still have questions and I didn't go through some of the details on this that I may have forgotten, please just reach out. We have the best support team in the world, and keep an eye out for the next video. There'll be more updates to this matte box system. Thanks a lot.